Matt Duffield from mattduffieldtrading.com, and tonight we're doing a video recap on symbol CANF and WGBS. And before we get started, I do want to remind you this video is for informational and educational purposes only. I'm not a registered investment advisor, so I do urge you to make your own trading decisions. Okay guys, so CANF, this was the big play on Friday. Not so much today after the announcement of the financing over the weekend. So in last night's video, I mentioned, sure, this could go up to $6, or on the downside, I thought it could go to 430 support, or maybe down to $4. It pretty much did that. It went a little bit further. It dipped down into the 380, 370 range for the majority of the afternoon. I am still tied up in this thing. My funds don't settle until tomorrow, so I'll be looking to exit. And based on my analysis tonight, I'm hoping we do get a bounce. That way I can exit with a reasonable loss. This has been a nightmare of a trade for me so far. But what I do want to point out at a time like this, after you have this huge run from $2 all the way up to nearly $8, back down to 378, you've got traders and investors all over the stock twits and message boards with all kinds of wild predictions. Some will say this is going to $10 tomorrow. Some will say it's going to $6. Some will say it's a pump and dump and it's going to $2. It's really tough to figure out where this thing is going. And even using technical analysis, it can be very tough when you get these huge super spikes like that and then the ultimate crash thereafter. So one thing I do like to implement is Elliott wave analysis when I can, and this is a perfect time to do that. I did notice that after peaking at 785, there was an A wave down to 580, which ended right here, followed by a B wave that topped out at 679, and then the huge C wave down. And so what this would be called is an ABC correction. Now on a C wave, it can start out with this big move down, and then it can just continually bleed throughout the day, and it just wears you out. It's basically making lower highs and lower lows all throughout the day, and investors eventually capitulate, or long traders capitulate, and they end up selling potentially before a strong rebound. So what I have noticed is this is the A wave followed by a B up wave. The C wave is typically a Fibonacci 1.618, the length of the A wave, which is right here. And with today's low of 361, it almost hit that Fibonacci number. I think it would have to hit 347 to be perfect. And this is, the market. These are penny stocks. It's rarely perfect. So it came within 14 cents of that 1.618 Fibonacci number. So that might be the bottom for now. Or we might get a dip in the morning down to 347, and that would almost be not a full gap fill, but the majority of that gap would be filled. And who knows, maybe it'll just continue on and fill that gap. I can't say for sure. What I do know is I think this looks like an ABC correction. I think it either terminated today here or will terminate very early in the morning and be followed by an up move. It might only be a dead cat bounce, but typically after an ABC move down, you will see an up move, and on the weekend it'll be a Fibonacci 38.2 move or retracement. And based on today's low of 361, that would take prices back to $5, which seems very reasonable. So that's definitely what I'm looking at. If this thing gets a bounce back to $5, I'm out. I'm taking my, gosh, what would that be? I don't know, less than 20% loss, but yeah, it's awful. But yeah, I'll be looking to get out. But this is typical. I'm sure long traders are worn out here. Most of them have sold, and with a little bit of short covering, this could easily spike back to $5. And considering this company did have legitimate news, with their product being an FDA approval for fast track designation. So it's due for a bounce. I think the risk to reward here is great. On the downside, you might be looking at the low to mid threes, but on the upside, who knows? $5 to $10 a share on a huge super spike again. So I think this is going to hit traders' radars tomorrow. But like I said, I'm only hoping on $5. I'll reevaluate tomorrow. And the other play I want to mention tonight is WGBS. Let's see here. Unfortunately, I didn't get to trade it. I missed out on another monster run here. As you can see, this thing took off from $1.75 today and doubled at one point with a high of 347. I found this around when it hit 220, and I looked at the 60-minute chart from this. This thing has spiked many times in the past, and I actually posted a tweet, and I was wrong. I said this thing rarely spikes after the first hour. It's normally done. As you can see here, it spiked, died off. Same thing here, it died off. Today was different. So I was wrong. I said it might be a good short around 230, and it was a good time to sell maybe, but it didn't go much lower, down to 222. So on a very short-term time frame, I was right. Then this cup and handle formed, and that's when I knew I was wrong. I didn't tweet anything, but I wanted to buy in. I wanted to buy at 240. The cup and handle price target was 275. Obviously, I didn't buy. I'm tied up in CANF. So as you can see right here, the price target was met, and there was some consolidation, and it just kept going all day long. And even at the close at 325, there's nothing saying that this should go down. I also put a 50 period moving average on here on the 1 minute chart, and you can see it bounced off that all day long, dipped under it here around 230, but it remained above that 50 period moving average most of the day. If you go out to the daily chart, there are some concerns. You get a lot of resistance in this range around 320, 340, all the way up to $4. So after a 100% move today, you've got to be really concerned about buying into that kind of resistance. But we've seen these huge runners just blow right past resistance and spike all the way up to, say, $5 before they come back under resistance levels. And that's kind of what CANF did. So at this point, I see no reason to be bearish. This thing could really see another super spike tomorrow to $4 or $5 a share. So if possible, if I can free up some funds, I would love to trade this tomorrow. I didn't see any news on this, so that's a little concerning, but I did hear in the message boards some people talking about a price target being upgraded to $11 a share. Maybe that's the catalyst behind this thing. I can't say for sure. Maybe this is a big run up before the news announcement tomorrow. Bottom line is you do have to be careful. Look what happened back here when this thing went from $1 to $2. So it doubled and then sold off down to $1.50 and traded sideways for many days. Same thing could happen here. So you really have to be watching your intraday time frames because this thing will move very quickly. That's all I have, guys. Best of luck tomorrow.